first match. Hydra over here. Rough start, especially in round 1. Round 2, looking a little bit better, and then in round 3 really coming to his own, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last games, they are littered with 2 losses. But it's kind of that alternating win-loss, win-loss. But I feel like his form is definitely better. It's more on point right now, and he's looking pretty solid. I favor him going into this matchup against Cure.
Yeah, as do I. Cure, on the other hand, he started off really well. He got a couple wins against some big names, but then he fell off pretty hard. I have to say, he would probably be at that upwards gold arrow, but now he's like kind of falling down to this midways area where he's got an okay record. He's doing all right. He's beating decent players, but he's not showing that flair that he saw us at the beginning of round 1.
Yeah, well said. Now, you know, we talked about this a little bit actually before the show. The last time these two met, Hydra hit with a very strong early aggressive push against Cure's mech and crushed him. Now on this map, King Sejong Station, well, we've been seeing a lot more mech play on this map, and I think that's something we definitely, absolutely could be seeing here. Looks like these two players are in the lobby and set to go. Let's jump into game number 1, CJ versus JINAIR Green Wings.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here in the top left, in the yellow for CJ Antis, the Zerg player, it is Hydra.
And down here, the bottom right, in the green, sporting those green wings, it's Cure. And I feel like this map is, again, I mean, let's kind of put everything on the table, because I feel like some people missed, you know, perhaps the playoff rounds from before. They started tuning in at round 3. Yes, you two are very cute, but back on the point. They're also cute over here. Now, this is done with a all-kill format, which means that basically the players that lose are out and they're like eliminated, but the player who wins stays up, and you keep sending out a new player. The difference between this format and the GSTL format is the loser doesn't, or the losing team that sends out the player doesn't pick the map.
Yeah.
So, you know, a player like Gumiho, actually, who we have seen recently do a snipe build on Maze, is less likely to be able to snipe a Protoss player in the same way, because he's going to be unable to pick Maze against a Protoss player. He can come out on Maze, but if it's a Zerg player that he's up against, or actually, I guess I should say a Terran player in this case, because Maze is map 2, and he can't be used in quite the same way. So you have to really think about, there are snipers in this format, but it's not really the same type of sniper.
Yeah, not as effective. Just because the enemy team is going to know what the map is coming in, you can't choose it to, you know, fake them out in that manner. So just a little bit different, but still very effective in some, you know, different games here. We've seen it happen a bunch of times in the playoffs before. And you got to think that both these teams are going to be preparing these snipe builds for here.
Yeah, for sure.
Very,
very happy.
Yeah.
It's like he came from Gunsan. I don't know where that is, but
when you don't know where it is, it's like, whoa, you're coming from
yeah,
somewhere.
He came from
crazy,
somewhere
like,
I didn't know. Like,
yeah.
I do occasionally find out about new places that are close to where I am that I don't know, but it's rare. Trying to think of an example. No, like there's not that many unknown places actually. I can't think of one, because as soon as I think of it, like it'll be known to me. He wants the lucky bag.
Oh man. Said he was going to do something if he gets the lucky bag, but wasn't able to translate it just in time.
I think he said he might give it to the to Kanata if he wins it. Which would be really weird, because I'm pretty sure Kanata has like all sorts of lucky bags. He could probably just...
Kanata is a guy I could see actually having a lucky bag. The other casters, not so much.
Yeah, that's like how Kanata does his predictions. He's like got a lucky bag, and it just has the players' names on it. He draws them out. He's like, well, I mean, I drew Marine King here. You know, unlike Wolf's Marine King prediction, like I did mine based off of the lucky bag.
Yeah. Like pulls it out. He's up against Parting or like some other really, really good Protoss. It's like, I'm going to pick Marine King because it came out of a lucky bag. So, of course, he's going to win.
Kanata like takes takes it and he's like, my Magic 8-Ball said Marine King with 2 barracks proxy, so I didn't vote for him this time. He's going to lose a drone here. Oh,
nice. Just barely gets it on the creep and makes that Spore Crawler. But second Reaper is here and already a lot of damage done to these Zerglings.
Yeah, he's just poking at that Queen a little bit here. And needs to pull away for a little bit longer now.
Yep. Going up a bit in those minerals as he was focusing on that micro. But of course, we've seen this out of so many turns against Zerg. They make 2 Reapers, sometimes 3. If they want to be a little bit more aggressive, but then they switch into this double Hellion production here. We're going to see those 2 pop out right away. And here we're going to see the I almost said the StarCraft version, the Starport version of this build, where he goes right into Starport and he takes up really fast.
He takes a second gas at his net. So that's really interesting because that means, that, for example, oh, what? He lost a Reaper there. That was a bit sloppy.
Yeah, bit of a mistake. Starts a new one.
Yeah, but going back to,
loses 2. Uh-oh.
That's strange. But that was a bit distracting. But going back to the second gas, it looks more normal to the Overlord here. He's like, oh, took your pretty normal second gas here. But he's actually going into Cloak, I would say. Well, actually, he's just got a Viking coming out here. Sorry, I don't have my own preview monitor today, so I'm feeling a little bit weird going back to not having one.
Preview monitor was not provided here. It did break, so we are not going to have it for now.
And we also lost the emergency mon.
Yeah,
so,
no emergency mon today. So we're just both going off the same monitor, but that's okay.
Because the thing is, if we wanted to use the emergency mon as an actual preview monitor, that would be crazy. And also, like, anyways, I just disregard that I don't have a preview monitor today. It'll probably be fixed by tomorrow. What's more important here is we have roaches coming out from Hydra. And he's making a Baneling nest here, too. I think we're going to see another all-in out of this guy.
Oh, yeah, I got to expect it 100% here. I mean, this is Hydra we're talking about. If he's going to put down a bunch of roaches and Banelings, especially when we saw this in the game that they played before, Hydra probably went back and studied that game as well. He's like, oh, Kira likes to be a little bit too greedy economically. He doesn't like to make some units, especially because he killed a bunch of those Reapers. A lot of that harass is going to be taken away. So now he's got this really strong force coming across the map, and Kira's forced to start making Marauders and Widow Mines, which I'm not sure if he wanted that in his composition originally, but that's what he's going to have to go into now.
Yeah, he needs to figure this out pretty soon. 6 roaches coming across the map here. That's all he's got, and now he sees all these lings. Stim is getting closer to being done, but it's not really going to line up. Let's see. I mean, he's trying to delay this a little bit. It looks like double Evo Chambers at home. I wonder if that's to fake him out, or maybe he's just not going to commit to the attack at all. Maybe he just wanted to have the Baneling nest up defensively as well as make a few defensive roaches. So I guess it kind of served its purpose.
Yeah. Kind of misreading Hydra here. He's playing a little bit more macro-oriented here. Pretty surprising for this guy. Going into, straight those double Evo Chambers and like 12 drones. So he's definitely transitioning out of this. He's going to send those drones down to the third base. And now he's got these roaches to defend. I think he's going to be pretty okay here.
Just a handy group of defensive roaches. And let's see. I mean, he's going into a bit of a later layer, but I think the early upgrades he has kind of makes up for that. Back at home, we saw this starport was removed from the reactor. And I think the reason why this is happening is because he was thinking about going into Banshees because he got scared by that all those lings and I guess the roaches that he saw. And I think he was like, oh my god, I might need to try to get some Banshees out here to defend. As far as I can tell, he hasn't utilized the starport since. It looks like it's been put back on the reactor. And this Reaper's going to come in here and see how late the lair is.
Yeah, nice keeping this Reaper here. He makes an extra one after those 2 dies. Important to note to get this scouting information, see exactly what's going on. Doesn't micronate quite well, but distracts him at the same time. And now the Hellions are going to come into the main base, starting to get a lot of kills already.
Doing a ton of kills here. And he even sends them back in too soon, getting a few extra ones there. Hellions are all killed, so he loses that map presence, but 11 workers killed in total. And those first medevacs are starting to pop out. The production tab's been hidden for a little while. I almost wonder if he lost the Reapers on purpose earlier. I mean, that's like a pretty crazy notion because he could have just sent the Reaper in later anyways if it survived. But if he kills both Reapers and maybe thinks, you're never going to have another Reaper. This Overlord's speed is really important because this is what's going to allow him to find out what sort of composition he's going up against in the long run, because right now he's not sure if it's mech or if it's bio. He really doesn't know because not any bio has ever been shown.
Yeah. Drop is going to come in here with 2 Widow Mines, and not much to defend so far. The boost is going to go down. One is going to burrow here, and he is going to pull those drones away. Should be well microed. Yeah, it looks like it just gets 1 Zergling, but another one going to come in here. See how much damage this gets done. Going to drop down and burrow once again. Oh, does only get 1 Zergling, so very nicely done here by Hydra on the defense.
And not a panicked reaction there, because I think the idea with a Widow Mine drop normally against Zerg is like, he drops out 2 Widow Mines, and Zerg's like, oh my god, it's probably 2 Widow Mines, or 1 Widow Mine and a bunch of Marines, excuse me. And the Zerglings stream in, he floods all the Zerglings in, and the Widow Mines get a massive amount of Zergling kills, but he didn't really panic. That was very well done. Although, you know what? Okay.
Yep, brings in that Overseer now. And here's some more aggression out of Curie. He's going to send these Marines and Marauders on the map. One thing to note is that Hydra, with his Overlord speed over here, he sent a bunch of these Overlords out. But he's not really microed them away, and that Viking, I think, has like 7 Overlord kills. We saw before he was at 5, and he just got 2 more. That's pretty big. I mean, we see Hydra right now is even supply blocked. It's going to hurt him a bit here in his macro game.
It was a bit of a weird pick off there with those Marines. It's like I guess he was just trying to scout with them. He's like really on Overlord hunt duty right now. Maybe trying to bait the Mutas into something.
No. Well, look at this. A bunch of these Banelings with speed are going to come over here to the 3rd base, but we do have some supply depots and a bunker. Is it going to be enough, though? He's going to run it right into the bunker. Not quite what he wanted there. Just going to be able to repair. No damage done for a lot of gas lost there at Hydra.
Good scout here on the Marine, getting that scout on the hatch. Feels like a really, I guess it looks like Kira's trying to use these Marines to scout, like, basically without using mules to efficiently see what's going on and where the bases are without overextending either. The crease spread hasn't been that great here for Hydra, I have to say, and it is starting to get pushed away now.
Yeah, Kira doing a nice job of having map control right now with this big bio ball. Especially with Hydra losing a bunch of those Banelings earlier on, it's going to be very hard for him to push this back. Also does not want to lose any of those Mutalisks here. Banelings being split up a little bit, but they are going to get decent hits. Not bad.
Yeah. Widow Mine's here, still ready, still active, and he's just got a small group of units up in the front here. And here we go. Here's the Widow Mines. Actually, most of them not even triggering. The Baneling's doing no damage, and that's a lot of gas waste here. This 4th base is absolutely positively going down. It looks like actually maybe can he save it? There's a lot of Banelings that weren't quite accounted for.
Yeah, and 2 Widow Mines coming a little bit too forward. Have to be careful here. A nice shot goes on to the Mutalisk, but still Hydra having a lot. But for now, is going to have to back off. Is going to bring more of those Zerglings that he just made. Going to have to make some more Banelings right now, only having 3. Here are the reinforcements out of Kira coming across the map and making a CC behind this as well.
Yeah, 7 more Banes, 5 more Mutas. He's just kicking total Ling Muta Baneling right now. Queen's getting targeted down. But he's going to have to be careful about that Widow Mine. That could have been like a disastrous connection there.
Yeah. Ton of Zerglings on the map right now for Hydra, up to 73, also making a bunch more Banelings. It looks like he's going to try and come in at the 3rd base once again with some of those Banelings. Not sure how, after the first one, then that was definitely not very effective. I'd rather just see him try to take more bases, maybe use them a little bit more defensive, maybe a little bit better. But I don't know, maybe trying to go for that little, behind harass here. Now the Mutas are going to come in here, and that missile turret is not going to be repaired fast enough, and some of these SCVs are going to go down.
Yep. So I mean, he's able to kill a few more harvesters here, and I like Hydra's position. Let's see if he really commits to just keep trading these Banelings like this, because eventually it's gonna lose its efficiency, and the 3-3 for the Terran is getting closer and closer. So if he keeps spending all this gas on these Banelings and not getting enough return, suddenly a 60 Marine army with a few Marauders to support comes across with 3-3. That is not a pretty sight. That's going to be pretty deadly.
Yeah, definitely. We're even seeing the Terran now matching on bases. The Zerg going to take that 4th base in the middle. He has total map control right now. We see the Mutas, they did do a nice job getting some Harvesters at that natural, but besides that, not taking too much map control. They are going to move out on the map right now, try to clear up some of these Widow Mines. It's going to be good for him. Want to make sure he can try to deny that 4th base as much as possible. Maybe try to go in there before the missile turrets are done. But here comes a big attack. The Baneling's going to roll in. The splits aren't too good. Now he's going to back off.
Split's not the best, but he just barely doesn't have enough to commit up that ramp, I would say. Like, he's got enough Mutas to, if those Banelings could fight with him, would have been a good trade, but can't go any further. This drop is like taking the scenic route through this base. This drop is like checking this base out. Like
he just like went through, didn't drop it because there was just enough there for Hydra to defend, and he was thinking maybe dropping the low ground.
That drop was like the awkward guy who like peeks at your text message, but like you can totally tell he's peeking at your text message, and it's really weird.
Yeah, man.
Because the thing is, like, you're not even sending anything private. You're just like telling your friend you're doing okay these days. But yeah, he's totally spotted there. Like the low ground drop does a little bit for him, and it's going to help him actually maybe get a muta or two here. 3-3 is finishing right now, and again these Baneling run bys. Let's see if he. No, not really. I mean, he gets a lot of walls, but.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the supply depots, which are all right. I think he may have gotten one SCV, but I'm not sure if those trades are worth it. You know, he's losing, he's forcing Kira to make these supply depots and get supply blocked here, but still a lot of gas traded there once again.
Yeah. We're going to start to see these trades with 3-3 fighting a big battle here.
Oh, the Widowmine's getting a ton of shots on those Banelings towards the north, but there are just way too many Banelings here, and he's going to roll over this army, and once those boosts run out, he's got to be careful. Those Muta's going to start doing a ton of damage to those Medivacs as well.
Yep, and a big attack over here. Does get a lot of those SCVs, but the Zerg army supply is dropping. I think there's just been too many good Terran engagements on 3-3. +3 for melee is starting now. That's how late it is for the Zerg. And +2 plating is even almost done for the Widowmine, so this is just no Banelings to speak of here.
Yeah, even Thor's added into the mix. The Mutas are going to lose their efficiency fast. And now he's going to come with a big attack here at the 4th base. These Mutas popping out. Just have to be careful. Zergling's forced to fight here with no Banelings. They're being made right now, but I'm not sure if he has enough time.
Yep, and this hatch goes down. Finally gets that. Baneling's still not ready, like you said. The Thor up here at the front doing some extra damage, doing some tanking, as well as the Marauders. He's positioned his units basically perfectly. Mutas are starting to fall, and it looks like Cure is going to take the win. GG. What appeared to be an early Roach Baneling aggression turns to be a defensive move for Hydra. Sits back, but the upgrades win out the fight in the long run because he's got 3-3, and he takes so many fights on it. The creep spread is a bit weak, and that's it. JINAIR takes the lead. JINAIR highly favored, I would say, in this match. That gives them some extra momentum here.
Yeah, I have to say, we both said it before this game started that we favored Hydra. But Cure playing very well, and I feel like at some moments in that game, Hydra was a bit nervous. You can even see, like, attacking with half of his force. His engagements were just not good enough. Like, I was going to say not perfect, but even they don't have to be perfect, but they just were not good enough at certain times. Like, he didn't have enough Banelings at times. He didn't have enough Mutas to clean up at times. His Muta harass barely did anything. And Cure overall was just a lot more solid, had the macro to back it up, and, you know, playing a solid TVZ there, showing some better games, especially compared to the one that he played against Hydra before. So, well done to Cure, and that's going to give JINAIR the 1-0 here. Yeah,
solid play. And I know just in general, like, it's been a pretty, I don't know, I don't even really know what I'm trying to say here, but basically that's a textbook example of how TVZ can go off